am an area VDO pro, as it called. I'm actually trying to push it. I was trying to get to regional VDO. By the time we made it to Vegas, I'm getting close, but I'm not sure exactly whether we'll make it. But certainly, all that you guys are doing and helping pushing me there, then what that means is you're next. I'm sort of hopefully being proof of concept that in fact we can do it working together. By way of agenda, I want to first talk quickly about mindset. Don't want to spend a lot of time on this because you guys are already there. But think of it in terms of the skill that you need to have for yourself in bringing other people to the reasons why we do this business. I'm going to then talk about the tool set, which is our category of systems. Then I'll go into our industry, company, and product, which is the legal training and compliance training, product training, compensation plan training. And depending on time, we'll talk about skill set as well. So let me move quickly into this. And again, I want this, it's just us. So you guys, I'm going to keep this line open. I believe that anytime you want to ask a question, that's the time, that's the right time to ask it. So just interrupt me, stop me, or just open your mouth and say, hey, I got a question, and I'll try to address it and answer it right there. Sound like a plan, guys?
Yeah, it's good.
All right, let's go.
I do have to say one thing real quick though before we get too far away from it. Another thing that helped Michael Jordan is he didn't have to see Elijah Warren in 94, 95.
You right about that, Bill.
Hey, go ahead.
I know you daddy, dog. I know. Hey, don't do that to us, bro. Hey,
I remember sitting watching Michael Jordan score doggone near 60 points against the Boston Celtics, and he lost.
Yeah.
So because they had the better team. Okay, but great point, Marcus. Guys, just this whole mindset piece, you guys know it's really the major thing that determines really where we are. And you guys know building teams is about helping people with this. I mean, most of us struggle with the cultural hypnotic mechanism that we all been raised in, and we have so many divergent and erroneous views of the world and how it works. So if there's anything I know we need to do is we need to be strong in our own mindset, but we need to transfer that to other people as well. And that starts with the important purpose of knowing your why and helping people develop their own why as to why they do this business, why they're involved in what Canada Globe has to offer, why they might want to become part of the team. I have a quick video that I found that I really enjoy. You guys hopefully would too. And you guys who've been through this training before know I'm a big believer that these sometimes just a little bit of video can help take 1,000 words out of your mouth and actually put them into hearts of people. So I found a video by a guy who's a comedian. Michael Jr. is his name, and he talks about, and he has a little video clip of a guy he introduces at one of his events, and he talks about your reason why. Let me just let this play, and it's only a couple of minutes, and then we'll come back after that.
How do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the phrase, how do I know, they always want to put the what behind it. How do I know what I'm supposed to do? The question that you really should ask is, how do I know why I'm here? Because when you know your why, your what becomes more clear and more impactful. If you know, like for instance, people know that I do comedy, but that's what I do. My why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. So I can do comedy, I can write books, I can be in a movie, because all of it is motivated by my why. In fact, I have a new web series out called Michael Jr. Break Time. We probably just did the 6th episode. It's on YouTube. So every single Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we drop a new episode on YouTube of Michael Jr. Break Time. What it is it's me. I travel around the country and I do stand-up comedy, in case you didn't know. And in the middle of my comedy set sometime, I'll stop and just talk to my audience. And we've been filming this, and it's, you know, it's pretty cool. So we're in Winston-Salem. I'm gonna show you a clip from Winston-Salem. And I'm just talking to this guy in the audience, and he tells me that he's a musical instructor at a school. So I was like, all right, you're a musical instructor, you know, can you sing? Let me hear you sing a song. So this is what happened at the last episode of Michael Jr.'s Break Time. Check it. So you're a musical director? Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace,
How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right, all right. Now, once you give me the version, is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick. If you know which version I'm talking about, just see if that exists. Let me see what you got. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I see. Okay. Here's what I want you to catch. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what becomes more impactful because you're walking towards or in your purpose.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. Wouldn't you agree? This is kind of what we are doing with Canaglobe, and people that we come in contact with is helping them understand their why and knowing their purpose for engaging in this. Because as you know, we're all going to run into a point. There's going to be a point where it doesn't work or it doesn't go right, and you're going to get frustrated perhaps, and I mean, you're not maybe making the money you want, or whatever happens is going to happen. And of course, the key piece is that we never quit. And what stops us from quitting is knowing your why. And I believe you can know your why and your purpose by knowing 5 things. And I will move through these quickly because knowing these 5 things and helping people answer these questions for themselves, to me, will position them to be insulated against all the difficulties and challenges that they may face. The company support's not working or whatever is happening that, in fact, often is just an operator error, but they'll come to you complaining. And of course, I believe leadership is those people who, in fact, can handle those complaints. So knowing your purpose and why, you can know by number 1, knowing who you are. And that's simply your name. Everybody knows that. So you're already 20% there. The next thing you need to know is what you do. And I like to say what I do, and I've sort of framed this in the context of what I'm doing in Canaglobe. So when I actually was at a little meeting earlier today, and people ask me what did I do, and this is my response. I usually say I own an online dispensary, and I'm part of a team building a global network of online dispensaries or online dispensary owners. And whenever I say that, I get it's just the wide-eyed look and saying, what? Because I just became the coolest guy in the room. The next thing you need to know is who you do it for. And I have a daughter that graduated from Columbia University. I actually have a new child that wants to go to Columbia University. I was able to get through the first one while I was working, but now I'm retired and I can't do it on a retirement income. But this little girl deserves that opportunity that her sister had. And so I began looking for opportunities, and I think I found it in Canaglobe, because this is the first ever of its kind marketing a product that's never been marketed before, and we're positioned at the pinnacle of the launch of this, and I think it's great for us. And so that's who I do it for. And what does she need? Well, she needs a college fund, and I've got about 10 years to get that done. And I think of all the opportunities I looked at, Canaglobe sort of fit the bill for me. And how do they change as a result? I'm talking about a legacy of success, hopefully, that she's built on. You see, I mentioned to you her sister graduated from Columbia. Her mom, just a couple of years ago, just finished her PhD as well. So you guys can clearly see I'm outnumbered and outgunned at home, but now I'm actually raising or sharpening or loading up another bullet with this little girl. So that's the key piece to me of my reasons why, and every one of us need to be prepared to do the same or to communicate the same and be able to do it in a concise way, hopefully as I'm doing now. And knowing, helping people do that and developing that becomes their story, and that story becomes powerful. So what can we say from that? Well, all the happiest people we meet, they know their reasons and their purpose. They're clear about who they are. They're clear about who they serve. They know what those people need and want, and they know how their lives change as a result. So the question now becomes, how are we focus on serving those people rather than serving ourselves? And that becomes the major reason and focus. The next step in the process for people that join our business is helping them do what I call a lifestyle checkup and asking the simple question, how are their results? You know, all of us, many people that we run into have been working 40 years and 40 hours a week, and they've been working, for 50 weeks a month, a year, and they haven't achieved financial independence. So the biggest question and the challenge that we have is that helping them understand that they can't solve their problem using the same mindset that got them in the current situation. They have to be open and willing to change. They have to be coachable. And quite honestly, what I'm talking about is them rewriting their agreement with reality on better terms. And being coachable is a major part of that. And so the last step in this whole life checkup is asking this question. Do you have all the knowledge, skills, and abilities to be financially secure and fulfill your why? Or do you need a little bit more? Do you have to ask the question, do we think your high school education, college, or whatever, or training you've had is enough? And when you ask these questions of folks and help them understand the need for them to be open, that brings us to the major question that we now face, asking this question. And this is a really important one. I'd like to ask the question, who is responsible for your income? Now, can you, and one of you guys just jump in that haven't heard this before and answer the question for me, who is responsible for your income? Mike? Who's responsible for your income?
I think I am.
I am? Okay, great. Let me just say this, Mike. And then, of course, this is other guys who have been through this training before, have been asked the same question. And I was asked that same question as well. And a guy that I have a whole bunch of respect for told me this. He said, well, let me ask you this question. Who is responsible for the Walton family income? Who is responsible for Elon Musk's income? Who's responsible for anybody? You name them. Warren Buffett. Who's responsible for their income? And the answer becomes what? A whole bunch of people. All the employees, all the people who purchase their products. So the responsibility for the income goes well beyond them. To have a balanced life, we should work 8, sleep 8, give our family and fun 8. So that leaves us 8 hours to produce to produce all the income that's going to make a success. And of course, if you only have 8 hours and you compare that to how many hours of producing income for the Walton family, just to use them as an example, it's their 8 hours, the 8 hours times everybody who works in a Walmart store, times all the hours that people spend shopping, and you get my point. The reason we haven't achieved financial independence is because we have what they have. We don't have what they have, and what they have, in a nutshell, or in a term, is called leverage. They are leveraging other people's hours. Well, what is that? Leverage is essentially giving people what they want so that you can have a piece of whatever it is that they want too. When you think about what people who work in Walmart, just so you can, to use them as just one example, the people who work at Walmart want something and Walmart gives it to them. You know what it is? It's called a paycheck, and they get it every single week for showing up and giving their hours to Walmart to produce income for themselves, yes, but more particularly for the Walmart family. And so when we look at, in fact, the number of hours that go into producing that income, what that is essentially is leverage. Now, Canaglow is the same opportunity in a different form. You see, we are getting leverage by helping people get a paycheck too. And when they actually go out and market this company's products and build distribution, that we in fact are decoupling the hours that they work, our hours that we work from the income earned, and we're actually helping other people achieve the leverage that they want in their lives by getting compensation as well. So when I compare what we're doing, I see it no different than what the Walton family is doing. We're helping people get a paycheck by building distribution. When you add all this up, to me, this is the definition of what people call network marketing, multi-level marketing. But when you boil it down to its essence, it's the same thing that many people who achieve wealth have done. And this is a unique opportunity. When people get their minds around this, they can separate and move away from the stigma of seeing this as something that's ineffective or non-productive. This is power of leveraging your life. Let me stop there and see if you guys have any questions I can answer about this. But this is just an introductory little piece I like to do to help people get the perspective that we're sitting on a rocket ship, I believe. And when it's a rocket ship, when we help people get the right mindset and understand exactly what they're doing, they can feel good about it. They can feel really be blessed, quite honestly, in the position that we're in. You guys have any questions on any of this so far?
No.
Do not.
Great. Let me keep pressing because I want to really be respectful of your time, because now I want to talk about the whole due diligence piece. I think you guys know by way of background, I worked as a bank examiner, and due diligence essentially is what we did in looking at small business loans, reviewing portfolios of financing deals the bank did. And there was always due diligence involved. And of course, it's a commonly used term. And so I think answering the questions or giving people this or doing this due diligence is sort of what I enjoy doing, but more particularly that has a purpose. Because what due diligence provides and what doing due diligence provides is actually the most essential thing I think we can bring to this business. And certainly I can give you in this training. And what that is confidence. Now, the company has a 5-minute video that they produce. And I believe if you can get anybody who watched this 5-minute video and not be interested, they've actually sorted themselves. And it's really that simple. But I want to go a little bit deeper now by giving you some of what I learned about what the background that convinced me that this is the right place and the right time to plant my flag and to get involved in. And it starts with a major individual that in fact is making this happen. His name is Marty Hale. Marty was a network marketer who got involved in his 23 years old in Excel Telecom. He got involved in a matter of a couple of years. He became a millionaire from being a poor boy here in Texas. He became a millionaire in Excel Telecom. And he became a good friend of one of the co-founders of Excel by the name of Steve Smith. Well, later in the years, Steve was dying of cancer, and he asked Marty, as a good friend of his at that point, to actually go look into the cannabis space. Marty did. He actually started and ultimately bought a products manufacturing company, and he then moved that to the point that in 2022, he launched a digital marketing program called Canaglobe. Now, what happened here is that as Marty and his firm became a major and one of the top suppliers of cannabis products supplied to brick and mortar dispensaries on a white label basis. That is, they were manufacturing products, putting other people's label on the products. And if you've been in the dispensary, you've probably seen that. Out of that experience, Marty was the CEO of $2 billion companies. He owned that $800 million cannabis company, but then he closed that and moved to founding Canaglobe.biz in 2018 in Colorado Springs. He launched Canaglobe.biz in 2022, and he actually now, since then, has won awards in 2019 as the best holistic CBD beauty line. He became the winner of the best made hemp derived US products. He became the 21 best hemp products provider. And this November last year, he won the award as Nutraceutical Company of the Year. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit later about nutraceuticals, but that, in fact, is a space where we're competing against many major supplement providers and developers, and he actually won the award. But what excites me about Canaglobe is this statement that Marty makes is about us being in the business of making people happy, but changing the world, and transforming lives with this sacred plant to put smiles on faces, happiness hearts, and laughter lives, and health back in the home. Marty purchased a 420 grow farm out in Colorado, where they actually grow it, so he controls it all the way from the seed to the shelf. You actually can go to this website, you can watch a video there, overview there about all that goes on, how they're using this cooperative grow farm to produce some of the highest quality products in the marketplace. So the point is we are quality because we actually control the entire thing. So by way of summarizing this whole due diligence, what I hope to be able to do, and I hope what is accomplished by this training, is really the big C, I think. The big C is confidence. You know, when you have confidence, and you're the one, in fact, that the team is relying on, and you have the absolute confidence because you have the knowledge, you have the information about what's going on, you have the confidence in our leadership. Number one, Marty Hale, who made his millions in direct sales. He doesn't need this. He's financially independent and owns almost 20 other companies that most people aren't aware of. He's also just happens to be an ordained minister. Also, the company, in fact, is in good legal status. And you can go to this website right here, opencorporates.com, and you can see the legal status of the company, knowing that we're in good state, in good position, and we don't have any gotchas hiding behind the bottom of this. And of course, the actual products themselves stand out. So what we're talking about is you having confidence in our leadership, confidence in our corporation, confidence in our products, and last, most importantly, confidence in our team and yourself. That's what we hope to accomplish with this. And I'll stop here and see if you guys have any questions about the background of this company and what it represents. And then I'll get into talking about the actual systems this company's put in place. You guys have any questions on the company background?
So Dave, it originally produced out of Colorado in what 2018 you say?
18, yes, 2018.
Okay. Where did Bee Cave come into play at? Down here on the other side of San Antonio.
Well, that's what Marty's his personal residence is. Okay, so the actual production facility where they actually grow the product is in Colorado. The corporate offices that Marty works and lives is in Bee Cave.
Oh, I got you.
The manufacturing plant is up in North Dallas, up in Abilene, Texas. So he's got he's got it spread out all over.
I was wondering that. That's a good. I was wondering that. I saw that. I thought they were, because I know they grow it in Colorado, and I was thinking it was getting. I thought he said it was getting manufactured or distributed in Austin or in Bee Cave or Frisco. I mean, he got, like you said, he had stuff all over the place, but it comes from Colorado. Then they just ship it wherever. They got it
to Abilene, which is north of McKinney, between McKinney and Sherman. And when you watch the video and you see people walking through the warehouse, that's in Abilene, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where the manufacturing.
That's a real small town.
It is.
So that's where your packages come from?
Yeah, no, that's not where the distribution happens. It's not where the shipping comes out of. That's where it's manufactured.
I got you now. Okay.
Yeah. But there is some shipping out of there as well. But just like Amazon did, you know, the reason why Amazon can give you next day shipping is because they've set up fulfillment facilities all over the country.
That's right.
So those fulfillment facilities are close to you, and I believe that's where Canaglobe ultimately is going to go. We'll have distribution all over warehouses, if you will, all over the country. So we'll be at some point in the future. My guess is, and this is just me, my guess is that we'll be talking about you getting your stuff next day.
Yeah. That order at 7 a.m. and it'd be there at 3 p.m.
There we go.
Yeah.
It might.
Yeah.
Houston.
But great question.
It's coming off of Kirkendall.
Say that again. You're breaking up.
In Houston, it comes from Kirkendall.
Oh, okay.
That is so smart. I did not know that.
It's I mean,
Oh.
right here, my thing would be is if you order something and you live close to it, could you just go pick it up without them shipping it to you?
Well, guys, believe it or not, I mean, you kind of peeping the whole crowd. We made some of us in the field made a proposal to Marty, talking about the fulfillment center and training.
Oh my goodness.
That's just a that's just a down the road thing. But can you imagine that happening if we had a fulfillment center in the 3 major cities here in Texas?
Well, no, it's so crazy. I'm laughing because this is brilliant. I just thought about so okay, so he got fulfillment centers. He'll have fulfillment centers all over the country, especially like in the Texas Triangle and all of these type places. And then he has us as virtual dispensaries going out promoting his stuff. It's just like Amazon. It's just like Amazon.
Like, and matter of fact, I participated in writing the proposal. Guys, this is, you know,
oh my God,
this is just us. I participated in writing a proposal, which proposed that we use, and we looked at when Amazon bought Whole Foods. Remember that?
Oh.
They actually,
I remember that. I remember that.
They added a brick and mortar presence in the major markets to their existing click and order business, and so now they're both.
Yeah,
you can ship it, or you can go pick it up.
Hey, now, I think that was who that was Bill. Bill, you were telling me that where it come from off of Kirkendall?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I pulled that up yesterday and seen that.
Okay, guys. I mean, this guy's got a big vision. Go ahead, Mark.
Obviously, he got the warehouses. I mean, he's got them all over, but he's not. There's no signs. You see all these buildings, office buildings. You don't know what they're doing in there. He don't advertise what they're doing in there.
Nope. Hey, they don't have no name. They just sit there, and they just sit, and you don't know what's in them because they keep them closed all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a racket. Yeah, it's going good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when I say we're on a rocket ship, guys, I mean, really, what's coming is bigger than what we got. As big as what we got is.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave. You're not going to believe this. It might be hard to believe, but I'm talking to this guy at my job yesterday, and I'm talking about this Canna Globe, and he's mentioned this to me. He said his brother-in-law run this warehouse off of Kirkendall. Yes. And he said his brother-in-law has been trying to get him to come in this business for years, well, the last couple of years or so. And then when Bill mentioned Kirkendall, my eyes buck wide open, like, what?
Wow.
That is wild.
Okay.
That's wild.
Okay.
All right.
Let me press on, because I want to now go into this whole back office system that these put together. And again, guys, this company is less than a year old. In their first year, they put all these systems in place. Let me just ask any questions you guys have. I try to do this as part of our onboarding to give you a review of what's back here in our back office greenhouse. Any specific questions I can address?
Yeah, I was trying to. I'm not in it now. Of course, I'm on the Zoom. But yesterday, I was looking under my team. You told me to go to my team.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been this morning, so I need to. Before I say something, I need to go check it out. But what happens if somebody's supposed to be a qualified dispensary owner and they don't show up, or doesn't read that on your team?
Yeah, I remember that, and of course, you did the right thing, which I'm always going to try to be a resource for you. I went and checked, and in my system, it showed that he in fact is a QVDO.
Okay.
So when you double check this morning, that would probably be the status.
Check it out.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? This could be a separate training in and of itself.
Okay. Excuse me. Dave, I have a question that I didn't jump into my QVDO training. I keep missing it for some reason. So can I pick up the one at 6 tonight, or was there a time frame I'm supposed to be on this? I'm on Jeff's team.
Yeah, Eric does it. It's actually 8 Eastern tonight is his Eric Carter, Easy Carter, who is my sponsor. He does a great training as well. Yeah, you can jump on this. We can jump on as many as you like.
Man, this took some thought.
Say that again.
I was just looking at it, I was like, this took some thought, man.
Yeah.
This out.
There's no doubt about it. Any other questions about our systems? But let me just say that I really encourage you guys to go click on any and everything that you can. Look and drill down. Go over here and read and actually read the compensation plan. All the details about how it is and it's out in written form. Now, all we show is the graphics, but in written form is all the explanation of how all the compensation, how it works, and how it's paid is in this compensation plan. Becoming familiar with that, I think, is essential. Also looking at the fast start system, filling that out, actually engaging in the process to help just organize your thoughts about how you're going to approach the business, what your initial objectives and goals are, how to fulfill that, for helping sitting down with other people, maybe the new to the industry or coming into the business for the first time. Completing this fast start form is really, really important. Now, I've developed that, and I'm going to have a location where you actually will have a ability to download a more involved and more specific fast start goal setting system that I will have on my website that you guys will have access to as well. But right now, using the company's fast start system is a powerful tool to help people get on the right track right out of the box. To me, helping people have success early is a major factor and contributor to their success as well. Anything else on the back office before I move on? Lee's encouraging me to move quickly and don't make this no 2-hour training. So I'm all pressed through. Thank you, Lee. Let me go now to legal training, because this is really where the light bulb goes off. And this, of course, my background, again, working in government, I really wanted to know that I was getting involved in something that would not impugn my integrity. And of course, I know all you guys want the same thing. You want the confidence that you, in fact, what we're doing is something you can be proud to doing and how proud to be involved in. And so I did a little bit of research and I found this online. And it's a little bit of a history of this whole cannabis experience here in this country, starting going back to the 1900s and 1937, where Prohibition ended, and Harry Asling, the head of the drug enforcement component of the government back then, right coming out of the Great Depression, after Prohibition ended, he needed a new whipping boy. So he found that the Mexicans were bringing this plant across the border. And you can actually go on YouTube and just, you want to write this down, just type in Reefer Madness, and you'll see amazing video footage of how they tried to program the minds of people against this plant they call marijuana. Marijuana is a Mexican name for the cannabis plant. So it led up into the 1950s of the Boggs Act, with the narcotic controls, to 70s, initiated the war on drugs, leading up into the 80s with Reagan and all that was going on, moving up through even to the 2000s until 2018, the Farm Bill, shepherded into law by Mitch McConnell, changed the definition of marijuana and hemp. So I want to tell you now that we're projected that this plant is now about to be a $41 billion industry going forward. So here's the big question. How is it legal? Well, in solving the problem of the loss of the revenue in the state of Kentucky by Mitch McConnell, who I think is the head of the Senate, he's looking for a cash crop. They wanted to replace it, and they settled in on the plant called hemp. Hemp was used to make clothing. I mean, it competes with cotton. Hemp was used to make rope, it made building materials, and all kinds of other things that they could do by growing hemp. It even used for feed for animals. And as a result of this desire to actually find this cash crop, they changed the definition of marijuana and hemp. And they defined hemp as cannabis with a THC concentration of less than 0.3% by dry weight. Now, it's the same plant, but if it has more than that, it's called marijuana. If it has less than that, it's called hemp. And so here we can see that the government now has put in place some amazing definitional change, which in fact legalizes cannabis. And that's a name that we use now. We don't say marijuana. What we offer and what we provide is hemp-derived cannabis products. Now, I found a great video, and this is really worth a million words because I have a lawyer who actually reviewed the entire process of how this became legal. You guys watch this video. It's about 7 minutes long, but you'll enjoy every minute of it and be prepared to take notes. And you can actually find this video on my website. If you just go to YouTube and type David Lewis Canaglobe, this video will come up. Let's watch the video real quick.
You may not know it yet, but Donald Trump basically legalized weed when he signed the 2018 Farm Bill into law back in December of 2018. Don't worry, he didn't get it at the time either. That's just because most people don't understand how cannabis works, let alone our conflicting federal laws on the subject. 2018 changed the definition of marijuana into two completely different legal materials. One, marijuana has 0.3% delta-9 THC or more, while all other cannabis and cannabis products with less than 0.3% delta-9 THC is legally hemp under federal law. In this video, you will learn why that small distinction between marijuana and hemp resulted in over 99% of all cannabis being legalized federally. And if you stick around until the end of this video, you will learn about THCA flower and what company selling it directly to consumers as hemp in states that do not have a medical program. And there is no reason why you can't do it too. Both marijuana and hemp are legal terms of art under federal law. What is a legal term of art? It means that marijuana and hemp are both definitionals under federal law. There are statutes out there that says what marijuana or hemp is. One of them is the Controlled Substances Act of 1970 that says cannabis is marijuana, but it's actually spelled and pronounced with an H and not a J. The CSA says cannabis is a Schedule I drug, legally the same as heroin. I'm a little bit taken aback. You can't even make this stuff up, right? Isn't that just so messed up? And that was just how it was for all the years from 1970 until 2018 when the Farm Bill defined what is hemp, because it amended the definition of hemp under the Agricultural Marketing Act of 1946 to include it. Under federal law, hemp is now defined as follows. The term hemp means the plant Cannabis sativa L, and any part of that plant, including the seeds thereof, and all derivatives, extracts, cannabinoids, isomers, acids, salts, and salts of isomers, whether growing or not, with a delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol concentration of not more than 0.3% on a dry weight basis. So now cannabis is like 99.3% completely legal. The only part of the cannabis plant that would test hot is poorly kept cannabis flowers. Do you know why that is? Because cannabis doesn't even make delta-9 THC. That's the main idea here. The plant does not actually make delta-9 THC. It makes tetrahydrocannabinolic acid, THCA. Lots of the cannabis that you buy at your local dispensary is so well taken care of during cultivation, harvest, cure, and testing that it literally qualifies as hemp. More on that later. Back in 2019, people were just not ready for that yet. Despite this video that we did, it was one of our first way back from 2019 when we talked about THCA flower. However, as that hemp flower is exposed to elements, some of the THCA degrades into that dastardly delta-9 THC, and a magic metamorphosis of law happens. The same thing would happen if you get it too close to a flame. The acid decarboxylizes and becomes a psychoactive delta-9 version of THC. But people were not ready to risk such boldness in 2019. Hemp's legalization had different levels, you see. Do you know what the first big breakout was in hemp after the definitional change in 2018? Cannabis seeds. They're all legal now because of how much delta-9 THC is present in a seed for either hemp or marijuana. How much? Zero. None. It's under the 0.3% delta-9 THC by dry weight basis threshold. And therefore, as a matter of law, it is not a controlled substance, but instead perfectly legal hemp. In 2019, seeds were ready to be called hemp. Why? Because the only part of the cannabis plant that makes THC that could become Delta-9 THC are the female flowers. The seeds have nothing that can make it marijuana under federal law. As a result, it is outside of the Controlled Substances Act and perfectly legal. Websites started popping up, selling seeds. Many got shut down, but today they are all operating legally as far as the federal law is concerned. Then, by 2020, people started realizing that clones and plants in vegetative growth are also hemp because they contain 0 Delta-9 THC and therefore are legally hemp under federal law. So you started seeing not only seeds for sale on the internet, but also clones for sale that would be mailed directly to consumers. And they did not even have to use that novelty use only BS that never really worked. What worked was having hemp removed from being a Schedule I substance so that it is just a normal legal thing. So you can see what's happened. The plant became basically legal, except for one chemical that the plant doesn't even make. However, most hemp has CBD in far greater numbers than THC. And the price of this CBD flower fell in 2020. And that's when all derivatives, extracts, cannabinoids, isomers, acids, salts, and salts of isomers hemp explosion started. The CBD extract could be isomerized to form THC, like Delta-8 or Delta-9. The definition of hemp under the statute says all derivatives, extracts, cannabinoids, isomers, acids, salts, and salts of isomers from the cannabis plant are hemp, so long as it's Delta-9 THC compliant. So companies started Delta vape businesses. They registered trademarks to protect their brand, which resulted in lawsuits, as it does from time to time. But no court had yet said that all of this was legal. That changed with a lawsuit about Delta-8's legality. The AK Futures LLC versus Boyd Street Distro LLC case was decided by the United States Court of Appeals in the Ninth Circuit in May of 2022. In the case, a producer of Delta-8 THC products sued Boyd Street Distro LLC, competitor, for trademark and copyright infringement. Boyd Street Distro argued that the Delta-8 THC products at issue were illegal under federal law, and therefore AK Futures could not obtain trademark protection for them. This is a classic defense of saying what the other party is doing is illegal, so they can't enforce it. The Ninth Circuit rejected Boyd Street Distro's argument, holding that the Delta-8 THC products are indeed lawful under the 2018 Farm Bill and therefore eligible for trademark protection, unlike marijuana trademarks. The court reasoned that the Farm Act specifically exempted Delta-8 THC from the definition of marijuana under the Controlled Substances Act, and that exemption from the law allowed trademark protection. About the same time as this, edibles got into the act. You see, if you have a gummy bear that weighs 4 grams, that's 4,000 milligrams, so you can find out what a 0.3% dry weight basis of that gummy bear is, and you get 12 milligrams, which is actually 2 milligrams over the state's requirements for potency in edibles. In my state of Illinois, each serving has to be 10 milligrams or less, which is really weird. That a licensed THC business has a higher standard than a federally legal gummy bear that qualifies as hemp. So the new definition of hemp from the 2018 Farm Bill did not just legalize most of the cannabis plant, it also legalized cannabis edibles so long as they do not have more than a 0.3% THC by dry weight basis. Once again, this is what happens when people that are making the rules have no idea what they are doing. Lawmakers, before you pass another weed law, will you please get some frickin' personal knowledge on the thing you are regulating? And now here we are in 2023. Cannabis seeds, clones, and Delta-8 are everywhere. The industry is melting down in open market states, leaking their cannabis into illegal states. Congress is doing absolutely nothing to help because they would rather tell you what upsets the other side's base or agree with whatever PAC is writing their big fat checks for re-election. So what's a cannabis company to do? I'll tell you what, THCA flower directly to the consumer. You basically get your dank weed, testing it so it is less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC, market as hemp, which is not a controlled substance, and a 2018 Farm Bill has explicit protections against interference with interstate commerce in the newly legal hemp market. Do you know what company is embracing this gray area in the legal cannabis industry?
Canaglow.
You may not know it yet.
This is amazing. Guys, on the left, you see what is the traditional hemp plant. On the right is what our company has cultivated as our hemp product. To make a long story short, science is now caught up with the technological explanation and structure of what is in the cannabis plant. And as a result, we can bring to market what in fact is the powerful products that are now 100% legal. So when you get asked the question is what is cannabis and what is the difference? And it starts with us being clear on what is marijuana, what is hemp, and ultimately what is cannabis. Marijuana, scientifically, the marijuana plant and the hemp plant are two different names for the Cannabiceae plant species. In other words, it's the same thing. And scientifically, they're the same species. And therefore, cannabis is legally the difference in how much of one specific cannabinoid called THC is in the plant at the time of testing. And so when you put all of this combination together, answering these questions, according to the National Library of Medicine, marijuana and hemp are not two distinct plant species, it's just one. And science says marijuana and hemp are the same, but federal law now says it's two different things measured by the amount of that one chemical THC. And that's the difference between marijuana and hemp. So when somebody tells you they want hemp, they don't want that hemp stuff, they want marijuana, they don't know what they're talking about. Because scientifically, it's the same plant species. All of this information is available on the the U.S. Department of Agriculture website. And you can go in there or send them there to actually read about it if they understand it. So all of this is talking about federal laws, but then there's the question of what in fact is the status on state law. Well, federally, if you use the term marijuana, yes, that's still illegal federally. But if it's hemp derived by the amount of amount of THC in it, it is federally legal in all 50 states. But every state has its own laws. And when you look at what the state laws are, they're all over the place. Fortunately, the last state to come on board was Ohio, just late last year, really early this year. And now we have the majority of states are already legalized it. And actually, there's a company that does all the major drug testing for all the major corporations who maintains a website that you and actually can go to, and you can find out the legal status of marijuana or hemp in your state. And you can see there's the status of being legalized, which is all the blacks. It's been legalized for medical and decriminalized. Some states are just only available for medical. Some states has only been decriminalized, and some states are CBD, or it's actually fully legal. They maintain, and you can grab that URL, the disa.com, and you can find a listing of all of the various states. So if someone wants to know what's the status of your state, you can actually go see the actual federal law that exists at USDA, the USDA site, but you can find your state law by going to this, and it takes you directly to the legal statute that's on the books in that particular state. And it's actually for all 50 states, as you can see by this. You just click on that right column to view the state laws, and it'll actually show you what in fact is the status. Now here in Texas, you can see that what in fact has been done, and Marcus can confirm this, that the state of Texas has essentially taken the exact language or the language of the federal law and put it into the state law. You want to speak on that quickly, Marcus?
Yeah. It's as far as Texas state law is concerned, under the Texas Health and Safety Code, what they did is in June of 2019, after the adoption of the federal 2018 agriculture bill, they just adopted the same language. That way there wouldn't be a conflict of laws that they would have to deal with. So they just adopted whatever the federal government said. So basically the federal law in Texas and the state law are consistent.
Wow. Powerful. Guys, any questions?
But what's really, I'm sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to interrupt. What's really crazy is that there was no publicity. Nobody said anything because the reason why is because these pharmaceutical companies didn't want people to know. They don't want people to know that.
Absolutely. Amazing. Any questions you guys have you got a you got an attorney on the line that's ready to help answer any questions that you've got. If you got any about the legality. You guys good? Okay. That video kind of really lays it out. I appreciate you allowing me to actually share that with you, because it's so much powerful information. And of course, you're open and welcome to share with anyone who raises questions about it. You can actually let them watch that video as well, and hopefully that answers their questions. Or in fact, you can refer back to either Marcus or myself, and we'll try to address any issues. So now let's move quickly into what is the critical piece of what the company wants to communicate with you in the way of compliance. And they want all of us to know that we, in fact, need to protect our interests, protect our position. We are cutting through the smoke, cutting through the confusion, cutting through the years of lies that have been told by essentially the government and supported by big pharma. And that is, we stay in compliance by not making any claims about income, not making any claims about cures or the product, solving anybody's medical problems. What we can do essentially is share the information where they can go verify it for themselves. Now, what's happened with us as well is that everything that we do, we want to stay in compliance with the Secretary of State's as it regards network marketing or multi-level marketing. And that particular requirement is that everything has to be tied to a customer. So we're not seen as just recruiting people, but we, in fact, are actually marketing a product. Our company calls it a mentor customer bonus. When they pay you the $100 for helping someone open their own dispensary, it has to be a customer associated. And that's why when we did the enrollment process with you, we had you add a product so that you're functioning as a customer in addition to what, in fact, is paid to us for actually helping you get enrolled or onboarded as a virtual dispensary owner. So they also call it a leadership customer bonus. That's the overrides that we get for when you're building a team and they join. Some other key pieces of compliance is us not doing any cross recruiting. If you've been in any other program and you actually in this program and you're on one team and you go recruit somebody on another team who's already in the business, that's cross recruiting. Cross promoting is if you're in another business and you actually trying to get them to leave cannabis or add Canaglobe and add it to another business that you're in, even though it might be unrelated. That's called cross promoting. No coattailing, that's combining the Canaglobe products with any other package of products that you put together and coattailing the two. And of course, don't do anything that would allow us to get in. This is just common sense into defamation or any tort litigation issues associated with us being in the business. If you treat it like your business, obviously you'll make sure all these compliance components something that you pay close attention to. If you have any questions, you'll just ask and we'll help you make sure you get the right answer so we're not getting kicked out. I will tell you, the company will terminate and has terminated people for doing some of these things, believe it or not. As crazy as that might seem, it's happened. People will do some of anything. That covers our legal discussion. Any questions you have about legal before I move into our product training? You guys good on legal? Great. Let's talk about our products. Now, again, you guys, I'm a really big fan of a video, and I've got another one to share with you. And this one is just so powerful. This just really took me over the top and being absolutely confident that we are doing something that's so beneficial to so many people from a health and wellness position, that this is not about people getting high. This is about people getting healthy. I found a video by a doctor. She's a medical doctor who in fact decided that she wanted to look into holistic medicine. She's a doctor, her mother's a doctor, her father's a doctor, her sister's a doctor, the whole family are doctors, and she delved into a new space of looking at what in fact is going on with cannabis. Her name is Dr. Rachel Knox. You can find this video on YouTube as well. And when you learn and listen to what she has to share, this will change your whole perspective, as I believe as it did for me. Understand really what we got our hands on, but more particularly, what we're doing and how Marty has taken this company and positioned us really a major shift that's occurring in the health and wellness space with what in fact is going on with cannabis. Let's watch this video and then we'll come back and talk about it just briefly. Take just a minute to load up and then we'll let it play. Dr. Rachel Knox, KNOX.
Hello, Portland. Can you guys hear me? Hello, and hello, everyone streaming. I know a few of you. Have you had your coffee? Are you ready? All right, good. So since you're already settled in your seats, I want you to lean in because today I get to tell you a secret. And it's a secret that's been well kept for almost 30 years. And I want to start by sharing with you a quick story about a revolutionary named Jill. So let's watch.
Hello, my name is Jill, and I have Parkinson's disease. I've taken my Parkinson prescription medication this morning, and this is how it helps. And it doesn't. This is my oil, cannabis oil. And I've just done it. I put it on the biscuit like that. Been 20 minutes since I've had that butter in the biscuit, and I feel wonderful. No shakes, no nothing.
All right, so we're all happy Jill got better, right? But you're probably wondering, how is that possible? How is it possible that her well-researched, FDA-approved drugs aren't working for her, but something else is? It's because there's a secret system in your body that no one is talking about. Now we know these systems really well, right? They're taught in every health, anatomy, and physiology class between elementary and high school and medical school. Do you guys know these? Yeah, we have our circulatory and our pulmonary systems, our skeletal and muscular systems, just to name a few. And we all know about our nervous system, which we once thought controlled them all. But today I'm going to talk to you about this system. It's a system totally unlike, supreme to, and in control of all the rest. And it was completely left out of every single medical textbook I read, despite its discovery 27 years ago. Right? I am not making this up. This is for real. So since it's not in the textbook, I'm going to share it with you today. I'm going to share with you the real science and the real history of this system and how you can use it to take control of your health. But before I do, I want to share my story. So when I was a kid, I wanted to become a doctor like my parents. But as medical school approached and my parents reflected on the changing medical field, my mom encouraged me to do something different with medicine. So I pursued a dual degree in medicine and business to become a doctor entrepreneur, because we entrepreneurs believe we can change the world with our ideas. And I wanted to become a world-changing doctor. Can't you tell? Yes, with that notion, I was eager and energized to learn. But what I learned deflated me. Because for me, the salient lesson from medical and business school was that big medicine is a big bureaucracy and paradoxical to health. It was a heavy, really weighty ethical dilemma that forced me to confront the dichotomy between wanting to become a healer, but becoming a drug pusher. I was training into a system pretty blasé and disinterested in addressing the root cause of disease and driven by patent medicine. This is not what I signed up for. And I was this close, literally, from walking away from medicine. But I found a family medicine program with an integrative medicine track, and that provided me a lens into ancient healing practices. Now, we benefit tremendously from the advancing technologies and innovations of today's medicine. But what I found was that people used to be great at healing themselves and others, and doing so with natural substances and simple practices like herbs and acupuncture and yoga and meditation and more. This wasn't witchcraft or voodoo, right? It wasn't then and it's not today. These healers knew what worked and they had sound theories as to why. They just lacked the science. They lacked the biophysical model demonstrating how, and it was hidden in the secret system all along. Are you guys ready to know what it is? All right, so we're gonna start with a word clue. Can anybody pronounce this word? Okay, well, let's do it together. So for the benefit of the group, let's sound it out. Ready? Endo, can, nabinoid. Endo, can, nabinoid. Endo, can. Louder, Portland. Endo, can, nabinoid. Endo, can. Masterful. Yes, thank you. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this secret system is what's known as the endocannabinoid system, or ECS for short. So if I say that, you know what I mean. And now we get to really nerd out as I explain what it is and how it works. So the endocannabinoid system resides within all animals except the insect. It's a 600 million-year-old messenger and receptor system integral to homeostasis, or the management of balance within your body. From embryonic development to immunosurveillance, there is not a single function in your bodies that is not somehow influenced or modulated by the ECS. You can think of it as a switchboard functioning in and across all physiologic processes and organs, acting and reacting to internal and external stimuli to direct, correct, and overall manage your health. So although a gross simplification, the endocannabinoid system can be broken down into 4 core components. First up, we have the cannabinoid receptors, like CB1 and CB2 and counting. Next, we have the ligands that bind to those receptors and initiate an action called endocannabinoids, or body-made cannabinoids, like anandamide and 2-AG. And we have the synthesizing enzymes that make these endocannabinoids on demand when they're needed, and the degradative enzymes that break them down after they're used. And it works through something called retrograde signaling. So illustrated in this diagram is the route of an endocannabinoid that's made in a postsynaptic neuron in response to neurotransmitter stimulation. It then travels backwards or retrograde across the synapse, where it binds to a cannabinoid receptor on the presynaptic membrane to initiate an action, in this case, blocking the release of neurotransmitter. So let me break it down a little bit simpler. It's an analogy. Yes. So let's say the endocannabinoid system is your dormitory or your apartment building, and your neighbor across the hall is making a lot of noise and they're getting really loud. You just walk across the hall and you politely ask them to turn the volume down. So you can imagine how important this function is when cells are sending signals of stress, pain, or inflammation. Like your noisy neighbor, these processes need to be checked. And it's through this mechanism that the endocannabinoid system checks these processes back into balance so that your body can relax, remember to eat, fall asleep, forget traumatic experiences, and protect itself along with a host of other mediating and restorative processes. The endocannabinoid system keeps your body in balance. Now, up to now, you guys probably thought the brain was the boss, right? We all did, but the brain's not the boss. The endocannabinoid system is, and we had it wrong. So with all that said, you guys might be confused why this really awesome system was kept secret for so long. Well, I'd say that it probably has something to do with the plant that they used to discover it. So back in the 80s, researchers wanted to know how THC worked. And THC is a plant-made cannabinoid or phytocannabinoid found in cannabis. And it's responsible for the intoxicating and euphorogenic properties that cannabis is so infamous for. And using radio-tagged THC, the endocannabinoid system was discovered as THC locked into and unveiled this extensive receptor network concentrated throughout the brain and throughout the rest of the body. And THC did this because they found out it's a direct analog or mimicker of our own endocannabinoid anandamide. And as an aside, anandamide, also known as the bliss molecule, is what's really responsible for the runner's high, not endorphins, right? So if any of you have ever experienced the euphoria that's come with exercising, that's your endocannabinoid system, that's anandamide. And we're finding more each day about over 100 other phytocannabinoids found in cannabis and other plants that mimic our endocannabinoids and have the potential to supplement or modulate the endocannabinoid system in therapeutic and healing ways. So this is where we're at. We have this incredibly mind-blowing system, and we have this plant, y'all, a plant that works on this system in therapeutic and healing ways. So what I really hope you're wondering right now is what's wrong with that? All right, well, the answer lies within the annals of American medical history, starting with two guys who really wanted to sell a lot of prescription drugs. And in their heyday, at the turn of the 20th century, American medicine was based on homeopathy and herbal medicine, and naturopaths and chiropractors weren't getting down with patent drugs. So with the millions of dollars in their pocketbook, a document called the Flexner Report, and the full force of state governments, American medical training was consolidated and standardized in accordance with pharmaceutical drug science, to the exclusion of holistic care practices, natural substances and remedies, and natural cures. And this created a system that made patentable pharmaceutical drugs that treated symptoms easy to sell, and that made natural holistic caring practices and unpatentable plant medicine like cannabis fringe, quackery, and illegal. What's surprising the most is that US physicians prescribed cannabis routinely to their patients well into the 20th century. Cannabis was once a top 3 most commonly prescribed medicines, dwindling out of use due to heavy taxation, the prosecution of the doctors who prescribed it, and finally, it being written out of the American Pharmacopoeia in 1942. You see, big business wrote my textbook. And I can only speculate that the endocannabinoid system was kept secret for so long because its science validated the use of unpatentable plant medicine like cannabis and other natural practices. But the pharmaceutical industry wasn't the only big business disrupting the once free market of health. We Americans spend multiples of billions of dollars annually on unhealthy and low quality foods, in addition to the prescription drugs we reflexively depend upon, both of which are directly linked to endocannabinoid system dysfunction, which we now know is the precipitant to most chronic diseases. And as a result, Americans are getting sicker and sicker, riding round and round on a Ferris wheel of big interests that we pay to ride. That doesn't make any sense. We're outsourcing the responsibility of our health to the bigs, and they're cashing in at our expense. Staying on this ride is a losing battle. But this can be the path if we reimagine our future. And in this future, all we need is love.
That's powerful. All these years, they have stopped research from being done on what in fact is this plant. They actually had one university in the United States that was even able to grow it legally. And so in the late 80s, early 90s, a scientist from Israel provided radio tag THC and followed it, and it found out that our bodies have receptors that in fact take what are these phytocannabinoids made by the plant and supplement the deficiency that exists in our bodies, because our bodies makes its own cannabinoids. We have these receptors in our brain, as you can see, lungs, and all our major organs, and even animals have these receptors. But then we also have the CB2 receptors. To make a long story short, we've been duped. We've been duped so they can sell pharmaceutical medicines, or should I say drugs, because what your doctor prescribes and you go to the pharmacy for, those are drugs. We're talking about a plant. Now, this plant actually comes in different strains. There's the sativa strain, the indica strain, and the hybrid. There's certainly some of the people have actually labeled these and grown. They become real popular, such as Girl Scout cookies or Northern Lights or the Amnesia Haze. They've given them names, but in reality, sativa, I like to think of it this way, and the way I remember it as the expression of it's sativa strains, it's sativa in the streets and indica in the streets. So if you in fact are looking at using them to relax, you want an indica strain. If you want to have energy and be more productive, you probably would want a sativa strain. But overwhelming majority of what's available now is hybrids and hybrid products, where they've taken the over 130 different cannabinoids that exist in this plant, and our company now puts together what they call an entourage effect, where they take that 0.3% THC and they combine it with all the other cannabinoids, what the law says nothing about. And if some of these, if you smoke enough of it or ingest enough of it, it'll get you high outside of THC. And so when we actually take that entourage effect and design and engineer products, they have tremendous benefits tremendous health benefits, and each one of them comes with its own terpene profile. And you know, terpenes is essentially the source of the smell that we get. Like lilac has a smell, or the magnolia tree has a smell. Those are the terpenes that are in plants. So you can see that for somebody fighting cancer, there's tremendous benefits. Someone with diabetes, particularly people who are fighting anxiety and stress, or can't sleep, or have anti-inflammatory or nausea as a result of chemotherapy, sometimes even brain function, appetite, pain relief, sedatives, and even improved respiration, all what in fact is we can now take this plant, these 130 different cannabinoids, use an entourage effect to come away with tremendous health benefits from an all-natural substance. So you can see from this chart, while we make no medical claims, we can see that if you wanted pain relief, you probably want some THC in your product. If you wanted other kinds of conditions, such as you can't sleep, you're looking at a CBN, you can go all the way down the list. What, in fact, we know is what's stated in Genesis 1:29, that I give you God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit and seed in it, they are yours for food. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, we are talking about a plant, a God-made plant. Now, what science has been able to do is take and now do the research to even get down to the molecular level and see that there's each of these different molecules from delta 9 to delta 8 have just one simple change in the molecular structure of it, and it becomes a totally different cannabinoid. And you can see that you see delta 8 everywhere, even sometimes in my mailbox, they got delta 8 products on the counter. The delta 10, of course, is another isomer with just one carbon double bond difference in THCO. That was so powerful. Our company really stopped making and manufacturing that because it was really stronger than delta 9. And then we have HHC as well. But our company also takes our products and there's something that's unique. This makes it far and above better than anything you can buy at your gas station or any other store or even on the street. Because when you typically take those products, you get about a 25% absorption rate, and the rest of it goes either up in smoke or goes out the other end. But here's what we do. With this nano emulsification, we get 99% absorption rate. So for the value of the product that you're getting, you can't complete it. Actually, many people are cutting our gummies in half because they have that potency, even though they're at that legal limit that, in fact, makes them legal under the federal guidelines. This nano-emulsification process is essentially our company taking sound, reducing the size of the molecule down to where it easily goes into our cells, which increases efficacy, increases the bioavailability, and you feel it within minutes. You saw the lady put that oil on a cracker, and in less than 15 and 20 minutes, her Parkinson's shake stops. That's amazing. There is no pharmaceutical that's capable of doing that. Isn't that unbelievable? As much as they've done, and I read a study recently that science has not solved or cured any disease or any problem we have in over the last 60 to 70 years. But here comes the research now that we know it's a plant that's available. But what our company also does is they made all of our products water soluble, which helps our bodies, which is 70% water, be more absorbable. We actually have a combination of taking all of these cannabinoids, and you can see all the benefits that exist. And all you need to do, if let me ask you a question, all you need to do is ask them to Google that problem that they have, put cannabis beside that problem, and you'll find all the research that's been done since they now made and took the foot up off of what in fact is a sacred plant that's been here for years and years. But the thing that I think is encouraging as well is that all of our products come with a DEA certified lab certificate of analysis. When you go into your back office or you go into your greenhouse and you have to go shopping in your product, you can click on the details and up pops this DEA lab certificate of analysis. This certificate analysis tells you two things, in essence. One, it tells you what's in our product, specifically outlining the cannabinoids that we comprise it. but equally or maybe even more important, it tells you what's not in our products. No pesticide, no herbicide, no other stuff that if you buy on the street, you don't know what you're getting or where it's been done. When you purchase it from us, we got a DEA certificate of analysis. And I'll wrap this up. We're talking about how important it is. And of course, you guys know I come from the banking industry, and I think of in terms of currency. And when I think about the value of what we are providing to the health and wellness of people, if you had pain in your life, if you ever been in a position where you had pain, what would you be willing to spend to get rid of it? Well, if you had wanted to be healthier and you had anxiety and people who can't go outside, or if you have people who've gotten into car accidents and really been afraid to even get back in a car, and they're actually using our products to get their life back. So when it comes to stress, sleeping disorders, eating disorder, how about the medical expense of people making choices now to whether they eat or buy their pharmaceutical medicines, when in fact we can replace it with something way more affordable, in fact, helping them really be able to stabilize their life without all the side effects. So when we actually put all of this together, I think our products have the currency. What we're doing is we're shifting the stigma, because that stigma has been planted in our minds, in the minds of all the people that you're going to run to, that when they think about cannabis, they relate it to marijuana, that's being illegal, that's what we've been conditioned, when in reality, it's a God-made plant. So we're shifting the stigma, and the company gives you a website called Shift the Stigma. It's the second website that you get, and that just has the product. It doesn't have any of our direct sales or marketing in it, but just for people who just want the product. It's called your shift.store, and whatever your username is, and that's where you can send people who are just interested in the product. Let me stop there. There's other resources that are available, and I won't spend time on that today.
I'm Amber.
But this is a young lady I have a lot of respect for. You can find her online as well. Let me go back. Find her on Well to talk about really a question and answer, anything you might have. Watching her is helpful as well. So let me stop and see if there's any questions you guys have about the product, because now after this, I'm going to talk about the money. Any questions? You guys have any thoughts on what you shared about our products? Okay. Enough said. Silence is golden. It's this powerful position where we're at. Let's talk about the money and do well, actually, I get a little bit more about the products. Let me continue about the product, looking at the products themselves. Because what we're positioning ourselves against is the pharmaceutical industry, as I mentioned, which is a $1.9 trillion annual revenue globally. And these pharmaceuticals have had their foot on this plant for years and years, and we're now finally breaking it. And what we are positioning ourselves is what's called nutraceuticals. Nutraceuticals are defined as all natural herbal substance with a physiological benefit, protecting against chronic disease, where pharmaceuticals, in fact, are treating the symptoms. And of course, nutraceuticals support the function of the body to improve health, prevent the chronic disease, delay aging processes, and of course, ultimately life expectancy. So all of this is saying what we have is not drugs. What we have is a plant. And of course, that's what nutraceutical is. And our company won a nutraceutical company of the year with the products that they producing. All of these are essentially our natural supplements, no different than vitamins and all the other stuff we take to address deficiency. So when you have a deficiency, or ECS, endocannabinoid system deficiency, which our body makes cannabinoids, we don't have enough of them, we supplement it with this plant that brings us back into homeostasis and balance. Our company now has taken this science and moved it into a whole full line of products that in fact are out here. You guys have seen this. We have a line not only of cannabis products, but we've also moved into the adaptogen space and have a complete line of mushroom products. So whether you want to eat yours, drink yours, smoke yours, however you want it, we have it available. We have bakables, we have flour, we have gummies, we have seltzers, we have aphrodisiac shots for him and her, we have coffee, we have tinctures, we have a full spectrum that you would actually see going into any of the best dispensaries in this country. We have the same products you can now access online. To get started, you come with a sample pack that you guys are getting as part of your enrollment. There's other products. This is the full look at what the sample packs are on its way to you right now. But also, you can actually go into your dispensary. You can see that we now have products from major influencers like Rick Ross, who has this product line at dispensary, Cheech and Chong, Snoop Dogg, and many, many others. I suspect in a couple of weeks when we're in Las Vegas, we will actually see new. I mean, the word I hear is Marty has a list of people who want to get their product on the dispensary, and he's sorting through and adding them too. We truly are going to become the cannabis dispensary, and we have the ability to market all of these influencers products. So we divide the products also into categories like Delta 9 products you see here. We have Delta 8 products in the various form. The really one of the most phenomenal products is this pain balm for people who have injuries, pain in joints and other places. And I specifically had a little bit of arthritis setting in my finger, my little finger, and I used this on for 10 days and it's gone. I don't even use the product anymore. But as a result of really all of this, the companies take science and the development. We have Delta 10 products. We have HDI HAC products. We have products with zero THC for the people that are working out instead of taking a 5-hour energy drink. We actually have the ability to offer them a product line for that. But the top of the line for somebody, for example, who's a everyday user, a smoker, our THCA flower will compete with anything on the street that you can find. I don't care whether it comes from California. This THCA product is what our company does. They harvest the product just before it matures, before all the trichomes and the crystals form on it, and they harvest it early. But when you light it, it turns into full blast THC that will compete with anything in the street. We now offer all of these products here in the U.S. in 5 territories. But we moved to a second level of product called our adaptogens, which is essentially our mushroom lines. And people are going to Whole Foods and other places trying to find these mushrooms because we spend our lives putting stuff in our bodies. Well, what we found out is mushrooms have the ability to clear the pathways that build up over time. And it's projected to be a marketplace that has the potential to be as much or larger even than the cannabis itself. Our company now is already expanded into 21 different countries with our mushroom products. We don't sell cannabis in those countries yet, but we're in position. Germany just recently went through the process. They may be one of the first countries to fully legalize as we do that here in the United States. Looking at what the products are in the mushroom space, here's a shroom flower, which is a 14 blend mushroom product line. We have the Amanita muscaria. If you ever played the Super Mario game, when he bumps into the mushroom and gets larger, that's the Amanita muscaria mushroom. What is happening out in Silicon Valley? The programmers and developers that are out there, the coders, are actually using this because it provides such clarity, focus, and they removed all the hallucinogenic and psychoactive properties. But it's also what's called the limitless pill. There's a movie out there called Limitless. If you ever watch that movie, it'll blow you away because this, in fact, is what's happening now with people that are taking these products to actually get clarity and focus in life and become more productive. We also have the Reishi plant, which has anti-inflammatory, helping our immunology, antioxidant benefits, even liver protection. We have the cordyceps available in microdosing. We have the chaga, which supports lung health, improves digestive functions. We have that's available in microdosing. We have cordyceps, which helps with blood flow, particularly for us guys. Instead of taking that little blue pill, we can actually use this as a product that in fact helps us in performance. And that too comes in microdosing. And last, the lion's mane in a form of a gummy. All of this is available now through our Amazon business model. No longer do you need to go through the hassle of going to a brick and mortar dispensary to get the products you want. Some people see that as a stigma as well. But when you stop and think about how many people live within even 100 miles of a dispensary, that's a small percentage in the United States. But how many people have a computer terminal connected to the internet that can go to your website and order all the product we want, have it discreetly shipped right to your door, right to their doorstep? And what's beautiful, you being in the business, never have to touch the product. Yes.
David, when this catch on, and it started to catch on, this is gonna be just like Amazon. This is gonna be as big as, this is as big as Amazon. This whole thing could just blow up like Microsoft. This is, the time is crazy right now with this.
Absolutely, Mark. I absolutely agree with you.
And when it catches on and people realize you can actually get and make money as well.
I know,
man,
for sure. But Marcus, as you know, they didn't stop there, because now the actual celebrities are coming to us, and they actually are saying they want to put that brand, and we get all this. The opportunity is that we have this with no hassle, no experience necessary, no storefront, no inventory, never even have to touch the product. No license, no apologies, is 100% legal. So you're emulated. Are you selling cannabis? Are you selling marijuana? Somebody say, no, you're marketing a website. The company is responsible for all that stuff. All we do is market a website, so we have no legal exposure in that regard. But our company didn't stop there. What they also did is, because they were white labeling products for many years, putting other people's labels on their product, guess what they said to us? Because we now become virtual dispensary owners, they provide that same white label opportunity where they will actually brand us. They ran a campaign in the early stages just to test and proof of concept, where they had people compete to win their own brand. These 6 people are the actual brand winners that in Las Vegas, in a couple of weeks, their brands are actually going to be released. Our company sat down with them, asked them what product they want, what product ideas they have. The company went back and formulated that product, helped them produce the labels, bottle, and all the rest of that stuff. And they now become the brand owners of those brands, and they participate along with the company, and they participate in all the revenue that's generated as a result of sales by anybody on the dispensary. Did you get that? And of course, that has going to be a potentially global brand sitting right next to Snoop Dogg's or Rick Ross's product on our dispensary shelf. Eric Carter is our line that we're actually in, but you can see he's here in Dallas. Keith Williams, Nika Hudson, Christabel Goldman, Paula Oakland, who's a little town over in Mississippi, and Heather Dye are just the first people that got their brand and actually providing us with the opportunity to proof of concept. Let me see now if you guys have any questions about our product, and I'm going to get into the money, and we'll wrap up our call from there. Any questions on our products? Great. Let's move into talking about compensation, and of course, showing us how it works. The long and the short of the story is there was a company that uses the exact same compensation plan that our company uses. This is the one that made Marty the Millionaire. It was called Excel. Back in 1988 here in Dallas, they became the first company to use this compensation plan to earn $1 billion in revenue, $1 billion in revenue. They did it in 8 years. The second place was Microsoft, which took 15 years, and they become the youngest company to ever make it to the New York Stock Exchange. It's called a coded bonus compensation plan. And they've actually changed the structure of it. They ran a 30-day promotion back in the holidays, and they reduced the 420 prices, what the original price was on owning the dispensary. And they ran a promotion for $299 when you purchase $100 worth of product. And that gave you 3 options to get involved. At $299 to become a virtual dispensary owner, $599 becomes a virtual dispensary owner pro, and that gives you the opportunity not only to earn income from marketing our sales, helping other people get involved, but also by helping train your team. This gives you the 2 websites that I mentioned. So now let me just go quickly into what is in fact the compensation that we earn. Starting at the affiliate basis, you actually earn from all the product sales that you market through your particular website. But we're talking about moving into the qualified VDO place, because this is really where we get to the other side of money and the financial independence that we all seek by owning our own dispensary. And when we do, it helps somebody else get involved and own their own dispensary. I need to change the slide to the $299, but there's a chance that he may take it back to the $420 when we get into Las Vegas in April. But I'm glad you guys got in on the $299. But when you help someone else get paid, I mean, get involved in owning their own dispensary, you get paid $100 for every person that you personally enroll. The goal is to quickly move to the up the ladder in position. You're actually building 5 teams. The first team is called your qualified VDO team, and you get 3 personally sponsored people, 12 people total on your team, and you get promoted. When you get to the position area, your compensation goes from $100 for every person you enroll. Now you get $175. That's a big difference. But then not only that, for everybody who joins that area VDO team, you get $75 to unlimited levels. Amazing. At regional, it's $200, and you actually do help more people be successful, and you get $100 bonus from everybody who joins your regional team to unlimited levels. At national, it's $225, and we only have one person who's hit that level in the time that the company's been operational, because we're still in pre-launch. Nobody has yet hit international where you're at the $275 level. What's beautiful is all these compensations happen simultaneously. They don't go away when you move from one level to the next. You just add on another stream of income. So we start with the mentor customer bonus on the first team, 3 and 12 that you develop, where you're helping get $100 for everybody you help join. At the the area position, and this is where the money really gets good. You're getting $175 for everybody who joins that team, and $75 unlimited level. You actually help more people be successful, and you now go to regional, and it's 200 and 100, 225, 125 unlimited levels, 275. Guys, this is one of the most powerful compensation plans certainly I've ever seen. Maybe you guys have some experience, I don't, but I don't see anything that compares. But on top of that, you're also getting residual income pay from all the products that these people are paying, all the monthly shipments that they're getting, all the customers that they're getting. You're getting override on all the production that's happening in that team. And it looks like this. It's starting with the affiliate video at 15, you add 3% to 18 when you get to area, 21, 24, 27 for personally, but then when you get to the 6th level and below, it automatically turns into 3%. So if in fact your team produces let's say $100,000 of income for the week, you're getting 3% of that. What, $3,000? You can see where this becomes really lucrative, and the day is coming where I believe we'll be looking at these kinds of numbers. And again, this happens on all 5 teams producing income as you move up through all 5 levels. But when you reach the point where someone is at the same level as you, our company, and starting at the regional position, our company gives you a 20% check match on all the production that happens. So that if Bill, you go out and sponsor Marcus, and Marcus, you become a regional, and Marcus now moves up to that position, you're going to get an override of 20% on everything he does for as long as he's in the business. And this is money that's coming in, and it's going to be tremendously powerful across all of the teams that you, in fact, working in. And the final way we get paid is we get paid to train, from $40 to $100 when you personally train someone, and or if someone that you train and it's on your team and they go out and do training, you get a 25% override on that. This is a compensation structure in and of itself where you can earn tremendous income just from helping people sit here on a Saturday, as I'm doing, for a couple of hours, an hour and a half, and actually train people. And I'm sure you guys will probably do it shorter and better than I will. But the point being is that the possibilities almost become endless, because you, in fact, can earn great income, have fun, helping other people be successful, changing their lives. To me, bringing something is a real currency, real value when we talk about getting rid of pain, alleviating stress, getting their bodies back in balance. All of this happens when we actually get involved. It starts with and centered around you hitting the position area, helping other people get area. I want to stop right there, because this, to me, you don't understand anything else about the rest of this compensation plan. If you just understand this right here, that you need to do the major focus for your initial period in this business, you get 3 personally sponsored people, and you help them actually bring other people into that area code to the point that you get 12. Now you get promoted to area, and your compensation goes to 175 and 75 to unlimited levels. If you never did anything else beyond this, certainly I think this provides a lucrative opportunity for you to earn some great income. But I know you'll never stop there, as I won't, because I'm going to help you actually move to the extent that I can to move to this level and beyond. But let me stop and see if you guys have any questions about compensation at this point.
I love it. Love it. Love every minute of it.
Yes, sir. So do I. Couldn't agree with you more. Any questions? Anyone else? So what's the goal for you in the first 30 days of being in this business? You're looking at it. 3-person sponsored people, 12 people total. We do it as a team. I'm available to help you do presentations, Zoom calls, 3-way calls. You can actually go to my website, davidlewisllc.com. You can schedule, put it on my calendar. I'm available. I pretty much work full-time on this. I have another development business that I manage and run, but when you're available and you got somebody that wants to get in, I'm certainly more than willing to help you do that. Any other questions? Again, last time, and I'll move to the compensation, but I just want to show you that regional, to get to the next level, to go to regional, that's when you help 6 other people do what you did and become area VDOs. When you get 6 area VDOs in your area team, you get promoted to regional. Similarly, when you want to go to national, well, in your regional code, you help 9 people get to regional like you did, and you get promoted to national. Similarly, if you're a national now, you want to help 12 people become nationals, and now you get promoted to internationals. So you can see nobody is going to go to anywhere in this compensation plan if they're not helping other people be successful. It's driven by our commitment to each other and to the people that come on our team, and that's how we get compensated. Any more questions on the comp plan? Let me wrap it up with this, guys. And this is an actual training that Marty did, and this gives you the perspective on what his view of the business is, which I wholeheartedly agree with, and I think it's really important that we all understand. See, he talks about what creates success. And of course, becoming a master prospector is about this business of finding people to talk to and talking to people to find. It's that simple. And of course, the foundation of it all is truth. Being committed to telling the truth and obviously always being honest. We're breaking the stigma. So we want everything we can have in the way of integrity about what we do. And that starts with trust. You see, because start with truth, because truth is the basis of all trust. And when you can want people to trust you, of course, it starts with them knowing that you're going to tell the truth. And trust becomes the foundation of relationships. When you have a good relationship, that's because you trust a person. You trust them because you know that they tell the truth. And when you think about a combination of relationships, then you compile good quality relationships, that builds a network. And that network now becomes
I'm on a call.
success. So it's truth, which leads to people trusting you, which becomes the foundation of relationship. And they'll listen to what you say, and they'll know that you're committed to helping them be successful. They become a huge network of people and followers that you're helping achieve the success that they want in their lives. That ultimately becomes the success that all of us want. I want to close with one little video clip. It's another video about a guy you all know by the name of Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman was in the movie called Evan Almighty. And Evan Almighty is about a story of God, played by Morgan Freeman, telling this guy by the name of Evan to go build an ark. He's in the middle of New York City, and Morgan Freeman is meeting with the guy's wife because he's at her wit's end about what's happening with this guy's life because he's spending all his time building this ark. At the end of the video, I want you to watch the tray that she has on front of her plate. But this is really what it's about, because what we have our hands on, a gentleman, is an opportunity. Let's let Morgan Freeman tell you about it. Bear with me, it's loading. My internet connection seems to be running slow for some reason. Let's start it over again. There we go.
Can I get a refill, please? Coming right up.
Excuse me, are you all right?
Yeah. No, it's a long story.
I like stories. I'm considered a bit of a storyteller myself.
My husband, you heard of New York's Noah?
The guy who's building the ark.
That's him.
I love that story. Knowing the ark. You know, a lot of people miss the point of that story. They think it's about God's wrath and anger. They love it when God gets angry.
What is the story about then, the Ark?
Well, I think it's a love story about believing in each other. You know, the animals showed up in pairs. They stood by each other, side by side, just like Noah and his family. Everybody entered the ark side by side.
But my husband says God told him to do it. What do you do with that?
Sounds like an opportunity. Let me ask you something. If someone prays for patience, you think God gives them patience? Or does he give them the opportunity to be patient? If they prayed for courage, does God give them courage, or does he give them opportunity to be courageous? If someone prayed for the family to be close, do you think God zaps them with warm, fuzzy feelings? Or does he give them opportunities to love each other? A lot of people are serving. Enjoy.
Hey guys, I want to thank you for your time and attention. I want to give you back
Excuse me.
your day. To me, to summarizing all that we've communicated here today, it's really us talking about being in a unique position where we have a tremendous opportunity. And that opportunity, I believe, is really based on the confidence that you get from the confidence that you have in all the key components of our company, our team, our products, and the legality of it and the status that we're in. See, confidence comes from what you believe to be true. So actually us getting in position where we now commit ourselves to our own success based on the confidence we have in the key pieces that I've shared with you today. Hopefully you guys can be like I am, and certainly that's committed to the success I know we'll be able to achieve with this company. The last thing quickly I'll share with you is that I do a training on communication, which I think is the fundamental skill that we all need to be successful in this business. It's 6 o'clock on Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, where I talk about communications and the importance of communications. And I argue certainly that the best people to have the most success in life are the best communicators. Working on your communication skills is the best thing you could do, and specifically giving you word for word, step by step, what to say, how to say it, to approach people with this business and this opportunity that gives them a chance to change their life as well as we are. With that, I want to thank you guys for your time and attention. I'll hang on for any questions anybody has, but this concludes my presentation and the training for today. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Dave. That was real good. Real. I love it.
Great job.
Yeah, Dave, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, fantastic. You guys have all my contact. Visit my website, David Lewis LLC. A lot of the videos that you saw in this presentation are on that page. If you want to schedule an appointment, you can actually click on any one of those, and it takes you to my appointment scheduler. I want to certainly talk to a number of you guys about doing a launch call, which is a really powerful way to launch your business. You guys are in the position where you don't just want to start your business, you want to launch it. And launching it sort of helps you move quickly up through the ranks to get to that position of area VDO where the income really gets sweet, and you'll actually be well on your way to success that we all aspire to in joining this business. But what I'm most excited about is we're functioning as a team, and I'm going to encourage you to participate in all the activities on that same website. Is a schedule of all the key Zoom calls that happen during the week that you can jump into. You'll hear testimonies. You'll hear people's talking about what working for them, that they'll hear about success. You'll hear doctors and lawyers and all kinds of other professionals from all walks of life who are joining this business and are pursuing their own success as well. With that, I want to thank you guys. I'm going to hang on for a few minutes, but we are now concluded our training. You guys have a great day.
You too, Dave. Thanks a lot.
You too, Dave. Good job.
Thank you, sir.